brothers, they are responsible for the explosives. I'd like to accept from them and raise their ranks, inshallah.
In recent weeks, we've seen a series of social media appeals by ISIS fighters in Syria and Iraq, calling for others to join them. Videos in English. Some of the people in them are British.
We have brothers from Bangladesh, from Iraq, from Cambodia, Australia, UK.
The truth is, many of them will have been inspired themselves by social media. 2 years ago, this YouTube video claiming Assad is the enemy of Allah is one of the things that compelled a man working in an old people's home in Holland to go and fight jihad in Syria. It's 2 years on, and Yilmaz is still there. With bullets strapped to his chest, the former Dutch soldier is training others to fight, many of them British. I spoke to him via Skype. Why did you decide to go to Syria?
I came here on a mission, basically, to support the Syrian people in their struggle against Bashar al-Assad, for their freedom, etc., etc. And yeah, it's been 2 years, and I'm still here, still fighting.
And what is your goal?
Basically, the main goal is getting rid of this regime and bringing in place an Islamic government that's built upon Islamic principles and open Islamic courts and have an Islamic government. Yeah.
Can I ask you what your opinion is of ISIS? Have you come across them?
Have I come across ISIS? Of course. I'm 100% sure that whoever you ask in this region, have you ever came across, or have you ever come across ISIS, they'll say yes, of course. Because a couple of months ago, they were running the show here. My opinion on ISIS or any other fighting here in Syria is I respect every fighting force that's fighting against the regime.
All these cars belong to the border police. Alhamdulillah, now it belongs to the Mujahideen.
But these ISIS troops are among the many that are not in Syria, not focused on toppling Assad. They are instead causing havoc in Iraq and confirming the West's belief that they pose the biggest threat to stability in the Middle East.
My main concern here at the moment is that exactly the same things are happening on the Syrian side, done by the regime and by Shia death squads, but that all the attention is being shifted to ISIS.
Can you expand a little bit on the kind of things you said your role is training? What sort of things do you train?
It's just basic military skills: shooting, walking, movement, formations.
Among the age group that come in, what are the youngest people you're seeing from, say, from the UK?
I think it's 16, 17. Yeah, 17.
Yeah. So teenagers. Are there a lot of teenagers?
I think the majority are in their 20s.
So people as young as 16 have come through.
17, 18.
And you're training them to use a gun, that kind of thing.
Well, look, it's funny. I mean, the British government itself is funding and training, be it in Jordan or wherever here in Syria, the Free Syrian Army. So basically, the British government is helping, and I'm helping in my way.
Security services in the UK estimate around 400 to 500 British jihadists are fighting in Syria. But why? This British-born Londoner converted to Islam 6 years ago and would like to go. Again, he is inspired by videos. This one shows people forced to pray to Assad. We've disguised Suleiman's voice.
They worship Bashar al-Assad over God. Bashar al-Assad comes to the mosque, and this was over the first year when the Syria uprising started, where he would go to the mosque and his armies would drag people out the mosque and have people forcefully prostrate to Bashar al-Assad.
We can't verify any of these images.
What personally would drive you to want to go and fight?
Me personally is to be able to aid others, but at the same time the main purpose is because it pleases God. It's the best death. If you were to die out there on the battlefield, it would be the best death. But at the same time, even if I did die, I've done something good for people, and that will be surely written down as a good deed.
Suleiman says family circumstances mean he can't go right now, but is in a small minority of Muslims who see it as a duty.
The overwhelming majority of Muslims will reject going out to fight ISIS, and rightly so. They shouldn't go. It's not Islamic, it's not what the Prophet, peace be upon him, talked about. But the problem is, a small number will go, and they're the people that we need to worry about.
Yesterday, Mohammed Ahmed and Yusuf Sarwar from Birmingham pleaded guilty to terrorism offences after spending 8 months in Syria last year and contacting Islamist extremists. Even teenage girls have been stopped at airports amid concerns they've been radicalised and were going to become jihadists.
What proportion of the group are women, and if any, and what are the women doing?
Some brothers brought their wives or their sisters. For women, it's a supporting role. Yeah, the household. Some even wash our clothes, or if something gets ripped, they just repair it.
But not in amongst the fighting forces, presumably.
No. The brothers wouldn't even allow it. If I would tell the brothers I'm bringing a female in, all of them would run away. It's not going to work. It's just not practical. Islamically, there's no need for female fighters at the moment.
There is a distinction between Brits fighting for the ultra-radical group ISIS and those joining other rebel fighters in Syria, such as Yilmaz. But regardless of who they join, the government is treating anyone who goes out there as a potential threat to the UK.
Do you think that there is a danger that British nationals who are amongst the groups that you've trained would use the training that they have picked up to take it out and commit terrorist acts in the UK?
Myself, look, Muslims consider this jihad in Syria and this region as something holy, yeah? So you've taken the risk. You left your house. You came all the way here to Syria. Hard training. Hardships, lots of patience, etc., etc. Myself, and when I speak to the British fighters and the foreign fighters, I just can't think of them risking everything, going back, and committing crimes.
What assurances can you offer that isn't going to happen? Are these people in any danger of becoming terrorists?
There's always a chance of a loose cannon doing something stupid or doing something crazy.
In a second interview with Londoner Suleiman, we discussed whether he'd accept that those going to Syria should be classed as terrorists.
What is a terrorist? A person that has a beard, or the one that practices and prays his salah 5 times a day, the one that follows every aspect of the Quran and Sunnah.
Well, no, it's the one that's plotting to attack the UK, and there's a fear that those people will exist among that group.
People would exist. I can't quote on saying no, they don't. Obviously, I don't know how the people think. Yeah, but those people that are doing it for sincerity, there's people out there like myself who's sincere, and there's people that will come back and they will have hatred for Britain or whatever. And those are the people that we need to look out for. And even as the Muslims that are around these people, we need to help them as the Muslim community in our mosques and so on, in the streets, in our homes. We need to aid them out of that picture of hatred.
Can you just give me an idea of how does the recruitment work? I mean, how do they get to that situation where they're being trained to fight?
In a nutshell, it's extremely easy for people to come here. You don't need like a special Al-Qaeda recruiter that's on Twitter or on Facebook 24/7. What you need is a person that wants to go, and he'll find his way.
But it's not like booking a beach holiday or something like that. I mean, you say it's easy.
It is. It is. People book holidays, but they end up in Syria.
I'd be complaining to my travel agent. Just finally, are you planning to come home yourself?
I don't think the Dutch government or the Turkish government is all too happy with a fighter that's been training people or that's been fighting in Syria for 2 years. And I respect that.
So you're stuck there?
I'm stuck here, but I want to be stuck here. This is all I ever wanted. This is all I ever wanted.